Hello everyone, welcome to e-learners Assam. Today we are going to read a very beautiful poem written by William Wordsworth, and the name of the poem is The Daffodils. So, without any delay, let's get started. In this poem, the poet describes a very beautiful scene of daffodils that were growing by a lake, and that sight has left a deep impression on his mind. Stanza 1. I wandered lonely as a cloud that floats on high over vales and hills, when all at once I saw a crowd, a host of golden daffodils, besides the lake, beneath the trees, fluttering and dancing in the breeze. Okay, in the very first stanza, the poet says that he was traveling aimlessly. He was traveling aimlessly. I wandered lonely. Okay, he was traveling alone and aimlessly, just like a cloud floating above valleys and hills. Over vales, vales means valleys and hills. Okay, he was traveling aimlessly like a cloud. Okay, like a cloud that floats above valleys and hills. When all at once I saw a crowd, a host, a crowd, a host stands for a large number of golden daffodils. Okay, a crowd stands for a large number of. It was a very uh, big in number. Okay, very large in number, and he says that, and suddenly he came across a large number of golden daffodils besides the lake, beneath the trees. Okay, where he saw that golden daffodils beside the lake and under the trees, fluttering and dancing in the breeze. And those beautiful golden daffodils were, golden means yellow, yellow in color. Golden daffodils were fluttering. Fluttering means moving quickly. Okay, they were moving and dancing in the breeze. Okay, these golden daffodils were fluttering. Fluttering means moving quickly, and dancing. They were dancing in the breeze. Breeze means light wind. Okay, okay. In the very first stanza, we have the idea that the poet was traveling aimlessly, just like a crowd floating above valleys and hills, and suddenly he came across a large number of golden daffodils beside the lake and under the trees. The flowers were fluttering, means they were moving quickly and dancing in the wind. Okay, এই প্ৰথম ষ্টেঞ্জাটোত আমি পালোঁ যে দ্য পয়েটজনে অকলশৰে তেওঁ ঘূৰি ফুৰিছিল এইমলেছলি, কোনো এটা উদ্দেশ্য নাছিল, উদ্দেশ্যবিহীনভাৱে তেওঁ ঘূৰি ফুৰিছিল। যেনেকৈ এই ডাৱৰবিলাক, এই আমাৰ ভেলীবিলাক বা হিলছবিলাকৰ ওপৰেদি থকা সেই ডাৱৰবিলাক এইমলেছলি যেনেকৈ ইফালৰ পৰা সিফালে ঘূৰি ফুৰে, ঠিক সেইদৰে কবিজন এদিন ঘূৰি ফুৰিছিল। কিন্তু হঠাতে তেওঁ বহু সংখ্যক এই ক্ৰাউড, এ হোষ্ট অফ গল্ডেন ডেফডিলছ দেখিলে। তেওঁ কি দেখিলে? হঠাতে তেওঁ কি দেখিলে যে একদম বহু সংখ্যক গল্ডেন ডেফডিলছ দেখিলে, হালধীয়া ৰঙৰ ডেফডিলছ ফুল দেখিলে। বিচাইড দ্য লেক, বিনিথ দ্য ট্ৰী, সেই হ্ৰদটোৰ কাষত, গছবিলাকৰ তলত বা ছাইডত বহুতো তেওঁ গল্ডেন ডেফডিল দেখিলে। আৰু সেইবিলাকে কি কৈছে? ফ্লাটাৰিং এণ্ড ডান্সিং ইন দ্য ব্ৰিজ। সেইবিলাকে নাচি আছিল, হালি জালি আছিল, ফ্লাটাৰিং, হালি জালি থাকিছিল। ষ্টেঞ্জা 2. Continuous as the stars that shine and twinkle on the Milky Way, they stretched in never-ending line along the margin of a bay. 10,000 saw I at a glance, tossing their heads in sprightly dance. Okay. In this stanza, the poet says that the flowers were shining continuously, continuous as the stars that shine and twinkle on the Milky Way. Okay, these flowers were shining like stars on the Milky Way. A Milky Way থকা stars বিলাকৰ দৰে সিহঁতি টুইংকলিং কৰি আছিল, তিৰবিৰাই আছিল, and they were shining, okay, continuously. These flowers were dancing, shining continuously like the stars. They were twinkling continuously. Here the golden daffodils are compared to the twinkling stars of the Milky Way. Okay. In the next line, They stretched in never-ending line along the margin of a bay, and these flowers were extended, or these flowers were visible as far as the poet could see. It can say they were in a never-ending line, means there was no end. Okay, কোনো end নাছিল, তাত শেষ নাছিল, বহুত দূৰলৈকে, as far as he could see the golden daffodils. Okay, along the margin of a bay. Okay, along the shoreline of a bay. সেই বে মানে হৈছে আমাৰ উপসাগৰ বা হ্ৰদ বুলি ক'ব পাৰোঁ, তাৰ চাইডেদি তেওঁ যিমান দূৰলৈকে দেখিছে, as far as the poet could see, he could see only daffodils, golden daffodils. Okay, they were blooming, they were dancing. Okay. 10,000 saw I at a glance, tossing their heads in sprightly dance. Okay, in this line, the poet Wordsworth exaggerates the number of the daffodils. Exaggerate কৰা মানে অলপ বেছিকৈ তেওঁ কৈছে, hyperbole, এইবিলাকক কোৱা হয় hyperbole. He uses hyperbolical language in these sentences, in these lines. এতিয়া কি কৈছে, he exaggerates the number of the daffodils and says that there were 10,000 daffodils and they were tossing their heads. It means they were moving restlessly. They touch one another, ইটোৱে সিটো ফুলৰ লগত লাগি গৈছিল, tossing. Okay, আৰু সিহঁতে 10,000 মান আছিল, there were as many as 10,000 daffodils. One could see at a glance. It means if you just give a glance, you could see 10,000s of daffodils that were blooming, that were dancing, and they were tossing their heads. ইপাহে সিপাহে লাগি গৈছিল ফুলবোৰ, they were moving restlessly, and while moving there, they hit their heads with each other and were dancing spritily. Okay, spritily, that means they were dancing with high speed, they were very excited, and they were dancing, and while they were dancing, they hit their heads. ইপাহে সিপাহে ফুল লাগি গৈছিল, যেতিয়া নাচিছিল সিহঁতে বৰ ফূৰ্তিত নাচি আছিল, আৰু সিহঁতে নদীৰ বেৰখনৰ কাষত, সেই হ্ৰদটোৰ কাষত খুব ধুনীয়াকৈ সিহঁতে নাচি আছিল। আৰু এটা দৃষ্টি চাওঁতে, এবাৰ চাওঁতে এজনে 10,000 মান ডেফডিল ফুল দেখা পাইছিল বা কবিয়ে দেখা পাইছিল। Stanza 3. The waves beside them danced, but they outdid the sparkling waves in glee. A poet could not be but gay in such a jocund company. I gazed and gazed, but little thought what wealth the show to me had brought. Okay. Now it is again a very beautiful stanza. In this stanza, the poet says that the waves in the bay were dancing happily as it was a windy day. Okay, যেহেতু বতাহ আছিল, that's why the waves in the water were also dancing. Okay, they were dancing in waves. But the dance of the golden daffodils outdid, they defeated the dance of they just go beyond. Okay, this dance of the golden daffodils went beyond the dance of the waves. এই golden daffodils বিলাকে যিটো ডান্স দিছিল, সেইটোৱে কিন্তু সেই সাগৰৰ পানীৰ ঢৌবিলাক বা সেই হ্ৰদৰ পানীৰ ঢৌবিলাকৰ ডান্সটোক হৰুৱাই দিছিল, তাতকৈ অলপ বেছি ভাল আছিল সিহঁতৰ golden daffodilsৰ ডান্সটো। As the flower dance gleefully or with very high spirited joy. Okay, এই স্পাৰ্কলিং ৱেভছ বিলাকৰ যোনটো ডান্স আছিল, সেইটো কিন্তু গোল্ডেন ডেফডিলছ বিলাকে গ্লিফুলি ডান্স কৰি, ভেৰি জয়ফুলি, অ'কে, এক্সাইটেড হৈ বহুত ফূৰ্তিত আনন্দত নাচি সেই পানীৰ ঢৌৰ ডান্সটো সিহঁতি আউটডিট কৰি দিছিল, তাতকৈ অলপমান বেছি ভালকৈ নাচি দিছিল। এ পয়েট কুড নট বি বাট গে ইন সাচ এ জকান কোম্পানী। অ'কে, এণ্ড হেভিং সাচ জকান কোম্পানী, জকান মিনছ cheerful companion, cheerful, জকান কোম্পানী মিনছ cheerful, ইমান ভাল লগা, বৰ আনন্দময়, ইমান ভাল লগা কিছুমান কোম্পানীৰ লগত থাকি, ইমান ভাল ভাল দৃশ্য দেখি, ইমান ভাল ভাল সেই গোল্ডেন ডেফডিলছবিলাকৰ ধুনীয়া চিনেৰীটো দেখি, দ্য পয়েট কেনট হেল্প বিং হেপী, হি মাষ্ট বি হেপী। as he was as his companions were golden daffodils, and they were dancing very excitedly. Okay, যেহেতু সেই ফুলবিলাকে ইমান ধুনীয়াকৈ নাচি আছিল, পয়েটে বোলে হেপী নোহোৱাকৈ থাকিব পৰা নাছিল. So he was gazing constantly, he was looking at them constantly. I gazed and gazed means he looked into them continuously for long time, but little thought, কিন্তু তেওঁ চিন্তা অহা নাছিল. He had no he did not think at all. Little means no, negative, it stands for negative. Okay, means তেওঁৰ মনলৈ একো চিন্তা অহাই নাছিল. What wealth the show to me had brought, সেই ধুনীয়া চিনটোৱে তেওঁলৈ কি আনিছিল. What the beautiful scene, what the beautiful dance of the golden daffodils had brought to them, he did not think about it. Okay. Now stanza 4. For oft when on my couch I lie, in vacant or in pensive mood, they flash upon that inward eye, which is the bliss of solitude, and then my heart with pleasure fills and dances with the daffodils. Okay. In the last stanza, the poet says that whenever he lies on his couch or whenever he takes rest, okay, যেতিয়া poet নিজক rest লয়, অলপমান পৰি পেলাই অলপমান rest লয়, in a vacant means empty, or pensive means thoughtful, when his mind is empty and he or thoughtful, যেতিয়া তাৰ মনটো empty হৈ থাকে বা বহুত কিবা চিন্তা কৰি থাকে, okay, বা বহুত দুখী হৈ থাকে, এটো বুলি ক'ব পাৰোঁ pensive. The daffodils, the golden daffodils flash upon his inner eye. Okay, what is his inner eye? They flash upon that inward eye when the poet take rest. The beautiful dance of the daffodils flashes upon his inward eye. They flashes in his imagination. The monot hebilak ahi jay golden daffodils bilak. The daffodils have become an everlasting memory for the poet whenever he is lonely. Okay, which is the bliss of solitude. Solitude means lonely, and this comes out to be a bliss for him when the poet is alone. The dance of the daffodils appears in his mind, appears in his imagination, and that is the bliss of being alone. অকলশৰে থকাৰ সেইটো এটা ভাল, আৰু তেওঁৰ কাৰণে সেইটো এটা বৰ ভাল লগা সময়. It is a kind of blessing বুলি কৈছে. Okay, তেওঁৰ কাৰণে এইটো blessing টাইপৰ. And whenever the flowers in his imagination, and then my heart fills with pleasure, fills and dances with the daffodils. And whenever the flower appears in his imagination, his heart fills with pleasure, his heart fills with happiness. যেতিয়াই সেই ফুলবিলাক তাৰ মনত পৰেহি, তাৰ কল্পনাত ভাহি উঠে, যেতিয়াই কবিৰ তাৰ নহয় তেখেতৰ যেতিয়া কবিজনৰ মনত সেই বা কল্পনাত ফুলবিলাক ভাহি উঠে, তেতিয়াই তেওঁৰ মনটো আনন্দৰে ভৰি পৰে. And his mind starts dancing with the daffodils. Okay, তেওঁৰ মনটো যেতিয়া ভৰি পৰে, তেতিয়া তেওঁৰ মনটো যেতিয়া আনন্দৰে ভৰি পৰে, তেওঁ তেতিয়া সেই ফুলবিলাকৰ লগতে নাচিবলৈ ধৰে. Okay, thank you.